All right, you ready? All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. I don't know what the date is. Today is Wednesday. Is today Wednesday?
Yeah,
September the 9th?
Yeah.
2020. So apology in advance for two things. Number one, if the internet cuts out, it's really quite slow here, especially all the kids in this county in Alabama are all out of school. So they're all like in school everywhere in their houses. So that slows the speed down, but it kind of bites anyway. But number two, this will be kind of short today because Carla and I have a day full of lessons, and we had only a break between now and 12 o'clock. And it takes us a while to get out there and get everything set up. So anyway, it'll be relatively short, so apologies in advance. But there's three things that we wanted to discuss today, so we're going to get right into it. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. First off, what we're going to talk about is the Carreno Busta Shapovalov match. There is an age-old tactic in multiple sports, whether it's boxing, and especially in boxing. As a young boy, my father always had me watch Joe Louis and a lot of other boxers, but especially he was fond of Joe Louis. So when I learned to box or to fight, the footwork was inherent in boxing and developing. And a lot of our students, right? I've had Kara with boxing gloves on, not hitting her, but showing her how to kind of move as a fighter and how it relates to tennis. And also there's another tactic in fighting, the good old rope-a-dope. You let someone think that they got you, or you're trying to conserve energy, and let them wear themselves out, and then you open up a can of whip ass on them. I'm not saying that the whole rope-a-dope happened last night during the match, but it's a very common type tactic. So, there was a bagel there in what was it, the fourth set? Yeah, it was a bagel in the fourth. It's one of those things where when it was occurring, we're like, here comes the old rope-a-dope trick for two reasons why I think this was part of the tactic, not just conserving energy. Number one, you have a young player, and Shapovalov, he's still, very young. Well, he's getting older, but he's still young nonetheless. He's very energetic. He expends a lot of energy.
Isn't he like 19? That's young.
Yeah. No, is he 20 now? 19 or 20. I don't recall the age. But when you have, let's say in boxing, a young fighter or an inexperienced fighter, or you have a tennis player in a sense that expends a lot of energy, you can really employ two tactics right out of the bag, especially in a long match.
Oh, he's 21.
And yeah, that's what I thought. And it was late in the match. So here's this young kid, he deals a bagel out after 2 6-7 sets or 7-6 sets, depending on how you look at it. I guarantee you in the mindset, there was one of these thoughts as, I got this guy, I got this wrapped up, And on the other side of the court, I'm sure there was the mindset of energy conservation. I'm sure there was some hand signals from the coach or some type of coaching communication where that tactic was employed on Shapovalov. And here we go into the fifth, and you have a much more his senior type, been around tour player that is known to be a human backboard, that is known to get everything back. And when you see that not happening necessarily in the fourth, and you see so much energy being expended, I think to myself, what's going to happen in this fifth? Is this kid going to be able to understand what tactic is being given to him? So I wasn't surprised after that bagel that the fifth step happened the way it did, and I hope that Shapovalov learns from it. So would you agree or disagree?
I just don't get it. So you needed to win one more set. You could have won.
What? I can't have a sip of your drink?
It's done.
Oh, anyway, I just got off the court. My bad. Women.
Men, be prepared.
Jeez, I just spent 2 hours in the hot sun. You had a drink, I didn't have a drink.
Oh my God. Look at this guy getting red again.
I was in the sun.
Anyways, all you had to do is win one more set, right? So you lost at 7-6? Or you won at 7-6. I mean, because I don't understand that strategy.
She was asleep.
Okay, so I'm looking at it.
I watched this.
So Shapovalov went 6-3 the first set.
Yeah, and then he lost the next two 6-7, 6-7.
Why wouldn't Carreno Busta just try to finish him in the fourth instead of taking it to a fifth?
He got down a break.
That's why.
So
he let it go 6-0.
This is not.
No, I'm asking you. So he let it go 6-0 is what you're saying after he got down a break.
In my opinion, I don't think he let it go. I think he got down a break and he's thinking to himself, this is a young kid. I can get under his skin psychologically in a way. I can make him think he's got this in the bag. And at the same time, I can conserve energy. I know you as a female, you've never played 3 out of 5 sets. I've been through many
So
of
he's
them.
29 years old. Look, I was just looking at his age.
Yeah, I've been through many 3 out of 5 set matches. And if you're not ready for that, I can tell you my first bouts of 3 out of 5 set matches were something that I was unprepared for, not fitness wise, but mentally. It gets very mental when you're deep in a match, hours into the match, especially at 11, 12 o'clock at night. You know?
Maybe that was a strategy. I could be a good strategy, but also you could put yourself in danger too. Because what about if Shapovalov was rolling 6-0 and you kept rolling? I mean, you see what I'm saying?
I don't think you'll follow me on this one.
No, I get what you're saying. Once he got broken, he said, "I'm gonna let this kid use up all his energy, conserve my energy."
Yeah,
and then on the fifth set, I get totally what you're saying.
I mean, it's an age-old tactic, especially in fighting.
I get what you're saying.
They call it the rope-a-dope because you'll see a prize fighter.
Do you agree with Justin, guys?
You'll see a prize fighter get against the ropes, and they'll be taking punches, and this guy's just sitting there pounding them, boom, 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 pounding them. They're taking the shots, boom, 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 pounding them. And then eventually that fighter that's inexperienced, that doesn't know he's being rope-a-doped, runs out of power in his punches, gets a little worn down, or psychologically the fighter will think that, hey, this guy isn't what I thought he would be. He's going away. And so what happens is the player eases off the throttle a little bit. When you ease off the throttle a little bit, that's when you can get it taken to you. And I think that after that 6-0 set, the young player simply thought that, hey, I got this guy wrapped up. He's fading away. I'm pumped up. Let's just keep going gusto.
We see many players
and you just got trapped into it.
We see many players give up sets in the men's a lot because they figure, let's save some energy for the next set. I've seen this a lot in men's. You can't do it in women's so much because it's only 2 out of 3, but a 3 out of 5. Yeah, you can do it. It's a good tactic.
It's a good old rope-a-dope.
Mondo says, I totally agree, it was a tactic.
Absolutely.
Djokovic does this often too. Strategy. Ethan said...
You'll learn one day, my lady.
I hate when you're so arrogant. That's what pisses me off. I wasn't disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying it could have backfired on him too. That's my whole point. Yes. If you could have won it on the 4th, why not end it there and go to a 5th? It could have backfired because the set was 6-3, so it was one break. It could have backfired. That's all I'm saying.
Any tactic can backfire.
Any tactic. I beat him and he said, I'll learn one day. Come on, I've been playing tennis long too.
I understand that, but the men's game is much different.
I get that, and I've seen a lot of guys give up sets just so they can get the start. They can start serving on the new set. I've seen that strategy too. I've seen a lot of guys give up a set so they can start serving and start up one and try to break.
Any tactic can backfire. Absolutely, it could have backfired, and maybe it was just sheer luck.
And then Ethan said, and if it had backfired, would it be calling it a brilliant strategy? No, we wouldn't be calling it a brilliant strategy.
I didn't even say it was a brilliant strategy, but it is a taught strategy. It is something that especially is taught in the boxing world and the fighting world.
Definitely the fighting world. Yes.
A fighter will try to make someone think that they got you wrapped up, and then all of a sudden they're going to kick your ass.
True. And Carreno Busta was he, like you said, he's a veteran and he hits everything back. I think Djokovic said this in an interview. They asked him, "What do you think of playing Carreno Busta?" He said, "Well, he really doesn't have a weapon, but he can get everything back. He's very consistent." It's exactly what he said. And
he's a very fit athlete. Even though, what is he, 29? I think 29. Sometimes the wheels start to slow down. But Carreno Busta's got wheels. He's got soccer player wheels.
Not your typical Spaniard looking dude either.
Yeah, no, he's got the nose though.
Yeah.
He's got kind of like my nose.
Yeah. Hey guys, Ethan, I thought this was funny. Your comment. I realized something yesterday, and this is a big deal for me. If Dave Chappelle can shake hands with O.J. Simpson, I think even the biggest Federer fans can forgive Novak.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And we do have a topic about the ball person incident. I know we've talked about it a lot. But any last thoughts on the Carreno Busta Shapovalov match?
I mean, Carreno Busta plays Zverev. I think he won. I mean, Shapovalov has much to learn, and maybe not to be so spastic like you always say. So just jumpy. He needs to relax a little bit. By the way, that Coric match sucked with Zverev.
We'll talk about that a little bit too. But again, we've talked about as Shapovalov has been growing as a player that. There's nothing wrong, by the way, when you're playing 2 out of 3 sets with going back to the baseline to return serve, and you're sitting there hopping around. You're hopping around. That's okay. That's okay. You play 2 out of 3. You can afford to expend the energy 2 out of 3 sets, because generally they're not pushing late into the evening, and generally they're, for the most part, they're a lot shorter. But when you're playing 5 sets and everything that you do is expending energy, I think Tsitsipas does this a lot. But I think Tsitsipas has kind of cooled down a little bit, but he's still very spastic. But they're boys. I mean, I'm 42, you're 41. These kids are half of our age, and they have a lot more energy. But I don't care how young or how fit you are. If you're in a long battle doing whatever you do and you're not resting per se, everything that you do is consuming energy. My dad used to tell me, and he was my first coach, and he's a coach too. He's 82 now, still plays. But he would always say, if you look at your fitness like having an empty bucket. So you walk on the court and you have an empty bucket. Now, every time that you take extra footsteps, you're throwing a pebble in the bucket. Eventually, the bucket will fill up. And once the bucket fills up, that's a really heavy bucket, and then we slow down.
What's up, Lucifer? Always nice to see you.
What's
new in the world?
So if you look at it that way, that every ounce of energy that I expend on the court, the bucket is filling up. It's getting heavier. I can't hold it as well. And now fatigue is setting in. So if you throw a pebble in the bucket, eventually it fills up. Now, how does even extra footsteps in a point make this happen? So a lot of players will, let's say, be retrieving balls, moving left to right laterally, not moving in X's and cutting off angles or getting back to step into it. They tend to be moving laterally. So what happens is when you're moving laterally, the energy going in a lateral direction tends to carry you in that direction after you hit the ball. So you hit the ball, let's say I hit a one-handed backhand. Let's say I'm running after a backhand, I hit the backhand, and I'm on a lateral movement to my left. I'm right-handed. So I hit the ball and I take an extra stumble, or I take an extra footstep after I hit. So I hit the ball, step, split, recover. So I've accumulated an extra 2 steps on this side of the court. Now, if my opponent over there is hitting the ball, split, and then moving, now my opponent has saved 2 steps. Now, if we go through a 5-set match and I have taken an extra step or 2, just simply being young and not quite having perfect footwork, being a young player, then if I'm playing 5 sets a match, or a 5-set match, and I played a gazillion points and I've taken 2 extra steps than my opponent throughout that match, how many extra footsteps have been put in that bucket? A lot right off the bat, right? Mm-hmm. So number 2, if I'm taking a bunch of jump rope type jumps every time I receive serve, jump, in between points, jump, everything I hit, just go. So after a long time, the bucket is full. And this is, I think, has a lot to do with Carreno Busta's tactic into the 5th. Hey, this kid is expending energy. I got down and break. This is a good time for maybe to pull the rope-a-dope. I'm going to get on the ropes. I'll conserve my energy. He's going to keep expending it. He wants the bagel. He's saying, come on, and pump it up. He's staying cool. And going into that 5th set, there was a bucket full on one side of the court and a relatively empty bucket on the other side of the court. And the relatively empty bucket won. Understood? Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right, enough about that. The Zverev match, by the way, I was watching this on Cam Williams' show yesterday. We had lessons, and we always put it on so we can stay up with the match. I didn't get to see very much of it. I think I saw like the first set and a half, and we had to go out and teach. But for me, the first set, Coric took the first set relatively decisively. Wasn't it like a French fry 6-1 or something? And right as the second set began, I really felt that Coric had the same mindset that Shapovalov had in the 4th.
He changed a lot, by the way.
Yeah,
a lot. Every time he would change, right? His clothes, which was odd.
Yeah, he took like a shorts changing break after the first set. So I felt like Coric eased off the throttle a little bit, thinking he had that one in the bag. And I think once he eased off the throttle, starting in the second set, good for Zverev to be here. I don't think he would. He might make a final. Actually, I don't know. I think.
Carreno Busta, I think, will be a lot more steadier.
Yeah, and he more mental
and more mentally strong than Coric. I think Coric kind of faded. I mean, he had him.
Well, I think again, it's just one of those things where Coric was like, man, I just took this first set 6-1. I'm in this. Went and got a shorts change. Came back on the court. Eased off the throttle a little bit. That got Zverev going. And then, the match was history.
I'm shocked that he won that match. I honestly thought we were listening to Cam Williams' show, and he's like, wow, I wish that Zverev would have some energy. I mean, Coric had the chance to, completely shut him down. He just let him back in the match, and that's why Coric has never been my favorite player. Nicolas says Coric got chances on Zverev serves, but did not get shots in court. Agree. Ethan says at one point, Coric literally walked off with no warning.
Yeah.
Right as Zverev was about to serve.
Yep.
Kind of obnoxious, laugh out loud.
It was.
Thought he had been defaulted.
I agree with him. We were like, what? We were still here watching it then.
Zverev was pretty annoyed by Coric constantly taking a bathroom break, before the second set would end.
Do you think there's any chance that that's a tactic, knowing that
That's definitely a tactic. He did it with Tsitsipas as well.
Zverev has been.
No, Tsitsipas did it to him, so he did it back to Zverev.
Yeah, so Zverev has always been known to get flustered, to double fault a lot, to kind of get out of his element.
Man, he's such a pussy. I'm sorry.
But let's look at this for a second. We were just talking about a tactic that Carreno Busta employed, and it worked. Is this an example of a tactic that was employed that did not work?
Did not work. Worked against them. Alex BG1 says, anyone in Australia? I don't know. Guys, is there anyone out there in Australia? David Bulich says, tennis press would have said Djokovic walked to his 18th, and if he gets to 20, Fed and Rafa fans would discount it. Glad he beamed the lines judge. Now the races continue.
We're going to talk a little
Very
bit.
Very true.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Probably a good thing he got disqualified, because everybody would have said didn't count. You know what I mean?
Agreed. And we're gonna talk. There was a couple articles that we read this morning early that are going to pertain to, and I think the articles that we read, Carla, were titled "Federer is now dragged in to the catastrophe that occurred with Djokovic hitting the line judge," and we'll talk about that.
Mondo says Nadal does it to TM, that strategy of leaving and coming back.
Yeah. Sometimes it works.
12 double faults. Zverev had 12 double faults. Wow.
It's a good stat. Good knowledge drop there. All right, so between Carreno Busta and Zverev, semis, who you got, Carla?
I'll go with the veteran, just because I just don't like Zverev. I don't like him. I don't like him because of his game.
What don't you like about his game?
I think that I'm shocked that he's a pro and he's this high ranked. The guy doesn't have a serve, doesn't really have weapons. He whines a lot. He's not strong. He can't volley. I just don't get how he's so high. I've seen better players. I don't get it.
You said he didn't have a serve. He has a big serve, but it's not as consistent as I think the other players in the top 10.
You can see that he doubts himself when he serves. You can see it. And it's like when he's serving the second serve, it's like you're watching a junior that's thinking about, oh my God, I hope I don't double fault.
It's a confidence issue.
Definitely a confidence issue.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it in his face. You can see he's like basically trying to push it up. You could just see it in his body language. Sometimes when you have a player that's confident on their serve, first and second are usually the same. They don't really let off of it too much.
I think they shape the ball differently. You go for the big hard serve on the first one, and a lot of these young juniors that we teach, and we've done this for a very long time, so there's nothing new about it. A lot of developing players will strike the ball really hard on their first serve, and then they will not strike the ball with as much energy on the second serve. They have a hard time, understanding that you are still moving the racket with pretty much an equal amount of speed on your second serve versus the first serve, but we are pronating differently, and we are shaping the outside of the ball generally, and more kind of, I say shaping, you're kind of, kicking the ball, but it takes energy to do that. So a lot of times people, when they get tight or psychologically off, they will slow the racket down and not add that shape to the outside or the bottom right corner of the ball. And they will tend to push the ball.
I'm not being biased. Michael Walker, I don't like him. Just like you guys have your own opinion. I don't like him because he's a little sissy. He cries about everything. I can't stand crybabies. I didn't like Andy Murray because he cried about everything before.
You didn't like Federer.
I didn't like Federer because he cried every time. I don't like little crybabies. He's a crybaby. He complains. Soft. He feels because he looks decent that the world owes him a lot because he's Zverev, and I don't like that attitude.
Yeah.
I hope Busta beats him.
Yeah,
George shouldn't beat him. I'm sorry. If you like Zverev, you got to question yourself about your tennis. He's not a passionate player. He's just not. He doesn't put the work in.
He doesn't look happy on the court. He doesn't look comfortable on the court.
I don't give a shit if you say I'm biased.
Oh, well, so bad. Too bad, whatever.
He doesn't put the work in. I've seen players better at parks, at public parks, that should be out there. This guy, he's soft. Soft.
If you look at it, I don't like him or dislike him. I'm just not a fan. Carla just doesn't like him.
I am objective about the game. He doesn't have a game. Period. There's guys. Kyrgios has a better game than him.
And guys,
just saying.
And understand, I think Carla is a very credible person to give her take because she was a pro player. She played challengers. Has been around the game at the highest level.
He's not a player. So this guy should have won long. Lendo couldn't even staying this guy. What does that tell you? And Lendl was a big champion. I mean, come on.
And Lendl has been known to be tough as well. Now look, if
just because he's cute,
that's great.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe that's why people like him, because he's cute. But I could pick a million better other players on this draw that played this tournament. I'm shocked Zverev is there. Shocked.
Again, I don't like or dislike the kid. Let's just look at his court conduct. As we coach, what the first thing our rules are to the students are: number one, we're going to stay positive. Number two, we're going to work hard, and number three is the same as the first rule. We're gonna be positive and work hard. So Zverev doesn't look happy on the court. It's okay to be a fan of someone.
Lucifer says Zverev is a prancing princess.
Thank you. Princess. That's correct. He looks like a when he complains and whines, he looks like a fairy. Mm-hmm. He looks like a softy princess. And I can't get down like that.
Did I see him playing the Rome? Yeah, but what has he done now?
Who cares?
Every time he goes to a slam, this guy, we picked him to win a slam a long time ago.
He's not.
Does he look? If he wins the U.S. Open, guys, would you say that this is a complete package? Would you say this person deserved to win the U.S. Open out of all those players? He whines. He parties. He does stupid stuff. Get serious about tennis.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember the thing that Federer and Zverev did, and they did like a show about it? They were on the South American tour. I think he spent half the time hugging Roger when he was crying, and they were like, lapping it up. I'm sorry, I don't like or dislike him, but he could be a lot tougher.
He could be a lot tougher, a lot better. He could have more heart, more passion, work harder. I'm just saying.
No,
obviously the potential is there. Obviously.
And you can't tell me he looks happy to be on the court. You can't. If you think he looks happy on the court, then anyone that thinks that is clueless about what a positive and into it tennis player looks like. He is a pouter, a whiner, and a complainer. I hope he grows out of it. But he should.
Maybe he'll grow out of it. I mean, he's obviously a pro for a reason, but he just doesn't have the heart. I'm sorry. He just doesn't. Let me go back to some of these comments. Lucifer said, would it count if Nadal wins Roland Garros? Well, isn't Djokovic playing it?
Yeah, I think Djokovic is playing.
So I think it would count. I mean, I think a lot of players are
playing.
There's a lot more players in this one.
Who are the major threats?
Federer was never a threat.
No, who are the major threats on play? Wawrinka, Djokovic, TM, all these guys are playing it.
All the Spaniards that play specialists, all the Europeans that play specialists.
There might be some players, that aren't playing it, but I think most of the major threats are there. And kind of unlike the men's side of this tournament, really, especially after Djokovic was defaulted, there is no major threat there. So, is Carreno Busta lucky to be in the semifinal? Absolutely. Is Zverev lucky to be in the semifinal? Well, maybe so, maybe not.
Well,
look at his draw. He had the first round. He had Kevin Anderson. Okay, he's
hurt.
Okay,
been hurt.
Then he has Manarino. Okay. Then he has
Davidovich.
Oh, okay. And then he has Coric. Okay.
Which should have beat him.
All right. And then now Carreno Busta. Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah, he didn't really play anybody. You could say, what a beast he just beat.
Yeah,
he didn't beat a beast.
So he's kind of had. Put it this way, if he wasn't in the semifinals, I would say then he's really bad, right? So again, it's not that. Carla.
No, and V Savage said the match he played against Novak in the ATP final, he played great, no doubt, but also known as a fluke. Definitely. How many players? We've had Millman who beat Federer, they beat him once, you have these great matches you had once, but he's just not consistent. He can't beat the top dogs consistently. Can he beat, a lower ranked player? Absolutely. He's supposed to.
Does he have the game to beat Medvedev?
I think Medvedev is a tough cookie.
Does he have the game? Does he have
built the same way but tougher?
Does he have the game to beat TM? Maybe so, maybe not. But I think that either one of those players are marginally better. Mm-hmm. Now, Di Minor Rublev sneaks in. I think Rublev is even a better player. Di Minor, hit or miss.
Di Minor is like George to me.
But you can count on if Djokovic was in the semi, Zverev would be destroyed. Now let's talk about the article we read this morning. Enough about Fairy Boy Zverev. He's a pansy unless he grows up. Now, any young kid, my 15-year-old kids, sometimes he can just act like a 15-year-old. But I would put more. 16. I would rather have my son with me in the trenches to fight a war to the death than I would him, because I'd be worried about him going to cry on someone's shoulder or giving me a hug or whining about the conditions in the trenches. If you want to go to freaking war, then fight that shit. Stop fucking whining. Excuse my language. Stop whining.
You're calling a guy 3 at World Fluke? I don't know. Love Zverev or hate him, but he can play. He can play. play, but he doesn't have the passion.
No one's saying he can't play.
He's not a Grand Slam champion.
We're saying
not a Grand Slam. He's not anytime soon. He needs to work harder. He needs to man up. Man up. Get your pants up and man up and work hard and stop whining. Because I can't stand watching this guy. Every time he looks at his stand, shut up and play.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
And at least look like you want to be on the court. I mean, from the time he sits down to the time he goes to the back, I mean,
always whining.
Always whining about something.
Stop whining.
Any little thing happens, he's bitching, moaning, and complaining. Just whatever, man. Just whatever. My 11-year-old daughter doesn't do it as much. So anyway, let's shift because we have to go shortly. This morning we read a couple articles that stated that Federer has now been dragged into the Novak Djokovic default. And we read this in 4 or 5 places. The young man that Federer hit was a ball boy. If you haven't seen this now, there's videos of it everywhere. But it was, I think, 14 years ago, 2006 Australian Open. He missed the first serve. It was called out, and Federer hit a ball, and it hit the ball boy in the head, kneeling on the net. Now, that's happened to me. We talked about that before. I've been hit in the head multiple times as a boy, as a ball boy, multiple times, especially in doubles. But the little boy stood up, laughed it off, and so did the crowd, so did the chair umpire, and the match continued. Now, the kid at the time, now grown, put some type of message out for the world to see on some social media platform. He says, this is odd that Djokovic, the best player in the world, who's from Serbia, gets defaulted because he hits a line judge in the neck, which was no worse than me getting hit in the head. Roger Federer played on with no problem, and people laughed about it, but yet Djokovic is off the court. Now,
did he serve it? I could beat up Zverev. You're right. I'm just saying.
Carla can box too. Carla
did he serve and play the point? Did he serve? Was it a point?
No. He missed the first serve. I watched it. I don't remember this happening. I was watching that.
Because if it was during a point, then it could be a little bit different.
It wasn't during a point. As far as now, you can correct me on this, but what I read, and I may be wrong, but supposedly he served and missed his first serve. It was called out. And then out of frustration, he tapped the ball and it whacked the ball boy in the head. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's what.
Can you guys correct him?
That's what I read.
Because if he, out of frustration, threw a ball and it hit someone, then I thought the rules was that's an automatic disqualification.
Well, it didn't happen for Federer in 06, and that's when he was rolling off majors left and right.
Okay.
So now listen to this, and that was right when Federer got his hair cut too, and he was getting into his gone from the hat to the bandana, and he was looking a lot more like the Swiss maestro, that type thing. But here's where what the kid said gets interesting. Now, this is the kid in the article saying this, that
Michael Walker said, Justin, you're wrong, and the story is totally what?
Find the article.
Can someone find the article?
Here, find the article. It was this morning. Just put ball boy speaks out about Federer hitting him in the head. I'm not saying this shit. Now, Michael Walker likes to talk shit, doesn't he? Damn, dude. Always got some shit to say, bro. I mean, that's fine. Whatever.
Ball boy speaks what?
So ball boy speaks out about Djokovic.
Speaks out.
Yeah, put ball boy speaks out about Federer hitting him.
Okay.
Something like, look it up yourself, man. I'm not pulling this out of my freaking ass, man. Grow up. That dude needs to grow up. Damn, Mike.
Ball boy speaks out Federer. It's okay. I mean, I'm asking is during the point because I thought you get. Okay, here it is. I thought you get
no, is this it? Roger Federer. No.
No, it's the groin.
What is that? After. Click that one right here. Click that one.
Okay, here we go. Federer ran out of straight, blah, 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 blah. It's very different, blah, blah, blah.
I have it on my phone, but it's recording. But you'll see it. He made a comment on his Twitter page or Instagram or something. I don't look at that crap, but if you can find it,
I'll find it.
If you can find it. Anyway, but the article's there.
My point is, if someone hit the ball, forget that it's Federer. I thought if you hit a ball, just like Shapovalov and many others, if you hit a ball, the point's over, and you hit someone, I thought it was an automatic disqualification. Am I right or am I wrong?
Keep looking for the article. Now, it went so far as in the article, and again, I'm not saying this. I read it. Now, do you believe everything you read? That's why I'm bringing it up. So, call this dude out. We'll find the article. If we don't find it here, then we'll find it and have it next time, or we can send it to you. You have her on Messenger, don't you, bro? So we'll send it to you, and then you can read it. Disagree with him, not me. Anyway.
Okay. Go ahead.
You found it?
Keep going.
So the article alluded to the fact that because the ball boy, after he got hit in the balls or in the neck, I think he might have been the balls or whatever. He got hit, but the ball boy indicated he got up and laughed about it along with the crowd and
He's
Federer.
saying that the story is not made up. He said Federer hitting the ball boy is nothing compared to what Novak did.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Well, okay.
Let me
My point is, again, I don't care that it's Federer, Djokovic, or whatever. If I am playing a match, right, a professional match, and I hit a ball out of frustration, hits anybody. Wait, stop.
I'm gonna find that shit.
It hits anybody.
Piss me off.
Hits anybody out of frustration. Aren't you disqualified automatically? I mean.
Okay.
Okay, just type Roger versus Haas ball boy. Okay.
I'll find it. Someone probably already found it.
He said Zverev said the point was finished. He missed the serve.
Okay, whatever. But I want you to hear what the ball boy said. The ball boy is quoted in this article. So the ball boy indicates that because the lady fell down and rolled around on the ground, then no one laughed about it, and that's what caused his ejection. If the lady wouldn't have, been rolling around on the ground, then it's very possible that he would still have been on the court. So what I'm saying is because of maybe the reaction of being hit in the throat was different than being hit in the balls, then that's what caused him to be off the court. Just read the article. You can find it. I'll find it for next show. So is that the case, that because of the reaction of the ball boy or ball lady not being, freaking out versus laughing about it, is that what caused the ejection? Was it not the impact itself, but the reaction of each person? This guy laughed about it. She freaked out. You're gone. You're in. Or is it favoritism?
So B-Dog said the commentators even stating he was lucky to be hit as he can go home and tell his friends Roger Federer hit him with a tennis ball. Yeah, I remember that, watching that. That's right. They all laughed about it. Yeah.
Just find it.
So this is the video in the article. So B-Dog just sent it to me.
Thank you, B-Dog. That's it.
The controversial just is, okay, so blah, blah, blah. Despite Roger Federer, the golden boy. Okay. Federer's punishment for this incident, disqualification, fine, loss of point, none of the above. The incident was laughed off by involved, including the ball boy. The commentators stating he was lucky to be hit. We can go home and tell his friends. Shit. After Djokovic hit the line, judge commentators made no mention of how lucky she was to be hit in the throat. I get it. So it happened after, but the thing is,
whatever, man.
Again, Djokovic things. Djokovic thing was an accident, so it's even worse. Actually, it's even worse because Federer hit it out of frustration, whereas Djokovic just didn't even look back.
So yeah, exactly.
So it makes it worse.
So it makes it freaking worse, man.
Mike Walker makes it worse. Bro, it just so happened that it hit her on the throat, and it just so happened that she collapsed and she went up because it hurts getting hit there.
Much love, B-Dog. Much love, B-Dog. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, B-Dog. So think about it. Federer did it out of frustration and hit the dude in the ball. Sorry, I said head. My bad. Djokovic did it on accident and hit her in the throat. So one's on.
I did watch the video, Michael Walker, and I saw it. The difference is, again, she fell on the floor. She was in pain. The boy probably didn't want to be embarrassed and didn't want to go, oh. Yeah, you did. He probably manned up like Zverev should.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Look.
And he didn't want, so, he smiled about it. It was Federer. He's a boy, young boy. Any young kid at that age, they're nervous. They don't want to.
Play a bitch role. They don't want to be a little sissy.
No,
they don't want to. No, what I'm saying is have you ever been?
They don't want to be the laughing stock.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Any kid. I mean, I've hit kids with tennis balls as I'm doing lessons, and I know it hurt them. I did it by accident, but they don't want, me to think different of them.
Yeah. Look,
so I think the lady, she got hit in the neck. That hurts. Hitting in the face, it hurts. It's happened to me. Her reaction, she fell, and I mean, gosh, it looked bad, right? Yeah. It looked bad.
Right. Again, so Federer's was done out of anger and aggression, hit the boy in the balls. Now, has any man out there ever taken a spill on accident in public and you get up and you walk it off? Even though, look, when I blew out my freaking knee, I ruptured my patellar.
You're right. Federer did not apologize.
Okay.
He didn't even apologize.
Let me finish this thought. Any dude out there that's ever taken a spill, and you don't want anybody to see it or whatever. Look, when I blew out my patellar tendon, my entire tendon was disconnected from the lower part of my leg. The bottom of my leg was just dangling, and I broke my wrist. But there was people watching my match. There was people watching.
I'm laughing at this comment. Go ahead.
There was people watching the match I was playing, and I still tried to get up and walk it off until I crumbled back to the ground. And I still tried to play like it didn't hurt, but I was in so much pain and being carried off the court by 3 other people. So even in dire, catastrophic injuries, I still tried to play it off.
I didn't know that his patella tendon was separate. I didn't even know because he just fell. He was holding it tight. Like, I didn't know. I realized that once his leg was dangling. But I'm telling you something. His injury was worse than the lady getting hit on the neck. I guarantee you. And I still tried to walk it off. He didn't do any of that.
I mean, my wrist was backwards, snapped in half, and my leg was dangling, and I still tried to walk that shit off.
You know what?
Still did.
Lucifer's asking, what do we think about old people being linesmen and they need to be taken out? They're in danger. A serve, you got a 130-mile-an-hour serve, boom, a 125, a 120 hits you, ooh, that hurts.
So I'm going to ask B-Dog a question.
Take him out.
I'm going to ask B-Dog. High-level football guy, raises football players, son plays, he coaches, whatever, the whole 9 yards. How much time, energy, and capital has the NFL put into football players and protecting their heads on the field? You had Antonio Brown that went through a whole drama dilemma over a helmet. Now, that was his kind of deal. I won't get into that. But if there's going to be elderly or older people that may potentially not have the fight in them to get up and try to walk some shit off.
You can't expect that from them.
Give them a football helmet.
You can't expect that from them.
Give them a mouthpiece and a football helmet. And I think a couple of you alluded to that on the previous videos.
I like Ethan's message. Interesting how the reaction of a person hit can really make or break a decision by officials. Those knife-edged moments is what makes the sports interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, very true. Alex says, Carla versus Zverev. Make it happen, Dana White.
Okay, check this out, Daniel White. Hey,
Dana White is the guy from UCF.
No. Check. She did MMA. She did it. For how long did you do the MMA?
I practiced, not long.
Well, yeah, she sparred with MMA, but didn't train for it. Yeah.
No, I can do it. Trust me.
Yeah, she can get down. When other people get onto Carla, they take her for just a female. She'll get up in their face and be like, "What? Huh? She'll be like, "Don't mess with me." She'll be like, "Don't mess with me." All right, moving forward because we have a lesson in 30 minutes, and I just saw the time. Naomi,
I agree with you, Michael. We have electric line calling, so we don't need lines people in 2020. We need to. Before I said they would lose jobs and blah blah blah, but looking after it, even Shapo's match, right? He had a challenge to calls with the machines when they had the Western Southern. The machine was accurate. It called the lines right.
Yeah.
Even when the players challenged, it was always right. It was always right. Yesterday proved that they are wrong a lot.
Correct.
So yeah, we need to take them out. Not only that, you're taking them out of danger. How are you hiring? When we get older in our 40s, our eyesight is not good.
We are in our 40s.
Okay, I'm saying we're in our 40s. Our eyesight is not perfect. So why would you put a 60-year-old, 50-year-old, 70-year-old up there? Their eyesight is worse.
Are there 70-year-old lines people?
No, some of them look like it.
Damn. Holy shit.
The lady that got hit, and God bless her, seriously.
Yeah,
but the lady that got hit, she looks to me like she's in her mid-50s at least.
Okay, so let's squash the topic on this. True or untrue? Roger Federer hits the ball boy in the balls. It's a boy. He doesn't want to look like a pansy in front of everybody. He pops up and laughs it off, even though it was out of aggression. Federer's allowed to play. There was no apologies. They just laughed it off and went forward. Djokovic, on the other hand, even though he was already frustrated before, that had nothing to do with the incident. He's doing what every player does. He was going to sit down, he struck the ball, and I'm not going to say hard because it wasn't, struck the ball behind him, and lo and behold, it struck her in the neck.
Look,
he immediately walked over there and apologized, and the lady freaked out. So
he had to be disqualified, though, Justin.
Okay.
I mean, I agree with Blind Fury. He's not a victim. He was unlucky. He had to be disqualified.
But what I'm saying is, then, if that is the case, then you just answer the question your own right there. If that is the case, then Roger Federer should have been disqualified in 2006. Am I right or am I wrong?
But he was the king at that moment.
And what is Djokovic now? The king at the moment. So is it bias?
He has spoken out against ATP. It's like if we're in the United States and we speak out against the president. Holy shit! You might not be here the next day.
Well, that's anywhere.
Just saying.
All right, next and last topic. Naomi Osaka looks very good, I think, in terms of her game. I have never really had that much faith after she won her first 2 slams.
She looked good.
I felt like she's kind of gone with the rapper boyfriend, and she kind of Instagrammed out for a while, and was always talking about video games and so forth. Now she looks right now, I think at this point, unbeatable.
What's up, NMT? She looks good.
She looks really good.
She looks solid. She's facing Jennifer Brady.
She looks good too.
But I don't think Jennifer Brady has enough game to damage. Osaka's serve alone, I noticed she's been serving down the tee, which is the toughest serve to serve. And she's been acing people like crazy.
And she cranks that thing, and she's not scared to go big on the second. It's been relatively consistent, if not extremely consistent. Now let me ask everybody a question.
Could it be the coach that's helping her?
Or could it
be the coach? He's not. He doesn't seem arrogant.
No, let's use our brains. Let's think a little deeper. Could it be the cause she's fighting for?
True. Yeah. They thanked her yesterday after her conference. Some of the parents got on there.
There was a wonderful thing yesterday. It almost made me shed a tear, by the way, and believe me, I don't do that crying pansy shit. So it kind of made me a little emotional. So Osaka was being interviewed after the match, and you had the parents. I think it was Arbery, and I forgot the other one. There was two different. There was like a father there of one of the unfortunate deaths we've had in our country recently. However, they came on like a screen, and she was able to hear them thank her, and I thought that was a beautiful moment. I really think that the cause that she's doing is really, really important because a lot of these type things that, and I'm not getting into it on this show, that's not what we do, but surely you know what I'm talking about, and she is fighting for something that just has to change. It's just in this day we live in, there's just no tolerance. There shouldn't be any tolerance for it, and I really find that the belief she is fighting for has rebirthed her in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? Giving her something to fight for, giving her something to direct for. And now that she's had these wonderful people, the parents or the senior thereof, tell her on international TV, or maybe it's just US, whatever, ESPN, I think it's international, to do that, I think that she is going to be extremely difficult to beat.
Okay, Ethan sent, he said, can I read his comment about what he said of Osaka?
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go, Ethan.
He says, after Osaka's defeat of Rogers last night, I want to know if you guys agree with me and a few commentators that has drawn a connection between her increase in activism and performance on the court. I know you often have warned that off-court activities can potentially distract and hurt a player's game, Justin has specifically joked about Osaka
Thanks for listening.
and her supposedly big video game habit a lot. Laugh out loud. And you're half right, I think, in making the point that the mental aspect of the game is crucial. But several people this week have argued that because Naomi, who admittedly this herself, describing herself in interviews as wanting to use the platform for something good as a vessel, is now, in a sense, playing for something bigger than herself that has helped her mentally and thus has improved her confidence and focus on the court. I happen to agree with them. I think the correlation is undeniable. I think her drive to succeed is now partially motivated by her activism, which is why she had 7 matches prepared at the start of the Open. It means the further she gets, the more eyes are on those names. That's bold and deliberate choice she made to tie her numbers to the social justice.
Wonderfully said. Absolutely wonderful said. I'll shut up because he just said it all. Very well said. Comment of the day right there. I have nothing more to say on it, simply because I really feel that I think it was Arbery's father that was talking to her last night that kind of made me emotional in a way, because the young man was killed, and there's a stronger word that I could say that was would be more fitting for the crime.
She spoke well,
but for her to have that. I'm surprised she didn't cry. I mean, I was just watching it, and I'm like, I hadn't cried in like 10 years.
She wanted to, but she held it well, as she should. Okay, so I read your comment, Ethan. Let's go back. Okay. Michael Walker says a good comment. I was at Roland Garros in 2010. Jeez, take me with you, dude. You seem to travel a lot.
Yeah, let's go.
When Sam Stosur looked unbeatable, she beat Serena and Justin and lost in the final. There is no guarantee in the sports. This is when
Justine, I think. This is when
Schiavone, right, won the French Open.
Who did Schiavone play in that final? Did she play
Stosur?
She played Stosur.
Stosur we thought was going to win. B-Dog says, Carla, I wonder where the rule of existence at that time, 2009. I don't know about the whole disqualification. I don't know. It seems like
the Federer's match?
They've gotten worse.
That was in 06.
Yeah, that was in 06.
And Federer was rolling off majors then. See, I went to the U.S. Open for a stringing apprenticeship for 2 years. Federer won both of those years when I was working my butt off. But nonetheless, that was right when he was really just like, if Federer was playing, then you knew he was going to win the major, except if it was the French. But you knew the other 3, he was definitely going to make a final, if not win it. So
are we lagging or is it just my phone? Because I'm off Wi-Fi.
No, we're good.
Okay, it's because I'm off of it. Okay, so Rajesh mentioned something that the ratings have gone down. I wanted to see this.
Rajesh?
How can I find out the ratings have gone down? I did want to compare the ratings. Anybody out there want to do some research?
I have to.
I would love to see this on the men's because honestly, I watched Zverev and George play for a little while, but then I got bored, and then I fell asleep on Shapovalov, even though it's my favorite guy.
See, I stayed up and watched that. I was.
Thanks, B-Dog. He said, great comment.
Oh, whose comment? Oh, and by the way, thank you very much, B-Dog. 2 shout-outs I'm going to give to, and there's a lot of you, but there's 2 of you guys that are like family friends, like really, really close. You're in our homes on a daily basis, in a sense. You're on the phone with us all the time, communicating all the time, and 2 of you are B-Dog and Rajesh Kumar. Rajesh Kumar, and I won't get into it. I love you a lot, man, totally to the core. When I went through my injury, Rajesh was a major part of my recovery. So the both of you, man, I got nothing but love for you guys and all of you. But those 2 are really special to me and to the both of us.
Yeah.
And Ethan out there, thanks for being in our home as well. Forgot about Ethan. All right, so what have I missed? Real quickly, you said Carreno Busta Zverev. You got Carreno Busta, right?
Yeah.
Rublev Medvedev. Who do you got?
He owes me lunch. I owe you guys lunch, he said.
No. I hope B-Dog and Rajesh get a chance to come and stay with us here. We have plenty of room. Rublev Medvedev. Who you got?
That's a Medvedev. He's got more experience. They know each other, like I said. But I think Medvedev's beat him twice already.
I think that's the match of the day there. That's the one I really want to watch.
Medvedev? Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that we're not still teaching then. Dima Noor Thiem, that's a pretty easy one for me. I think
Ethan, my kids love the cookies. Jonathan's not here, but they ate that. Like, I don't eat cookies, but they loved it. They even remember. That's Ethan, the one that sent us the cookies.
Yeah, they were really well done. Pironkova, Serena.
I say Serena. I would be shocked if Serena lost that match. It would have to be like a Roberta Vinci match, all over again.
I want Serena to win simply because I would love to see a rematch of the Osaka-Serena final. Don't count out Pironkova, though. If Pironkova can keep her on the move laterally.
But I'm just saying, have you seen her leg? It's still wrapped up, and so is the other leg. She's played a lot of tennis.
Maybe it's the rope-a-dope. Azarenka Mertens, who you got?
Tough match. I want Azarenka to win, but I think that's going to be a really tough match.
Semi-final match, Brady Osaka, who you got?
I think Osaka's just too much. She's on a mission, like Ethan said, many B-Dog said. She's serving well, hitting well. Yeah, she's going to be tough to beat even in the finals.
All right, end of the show. Real quickly, there's 6 or 7 people left for the 2 prizes we're giving away, which is a box full of whatever you choose. I'll make this quick. There's only a few people left that have any chance of winning, and these are the people. Kenneth Chow has 64 points. Stefan Nizovic has 68 points. Nikola Kostic has 64 points. Sergej Jovanovic has 62 points. JMP 1966 has 60 points, but he has the most people left, so be careful. And Milena Brzezinska has 64 points. And Deadsville, a.k.a. Casper, has 65 points. All of you are really battling it out. This has been the tightest fantasy team competition we've ever had, and we've done maybe 9 or 10 of them. So the best of luck to everybody moving forward.
Well, we didn't get to one thing that one of you, I forgot who sent it. I got to look in the comments and give you credit for that. You told me yesterday when we were sitting on the tennis court, did you realize there's going to be 2 French Opens? Back to back? This will make Nadal pass Federer.
Can you find his name? So yesterday we were on court. We had Cam the show going and so forth, and I took a water break real quick, and I grabbed my phone, and there was a message there, and I sat down and I read it. I think his name was like Igor or something. But he made a statement. He said, it's going to be...
Here you go. Igor.
Yeah, read this.
Igor Luchena. Novak just threw away a vital chance to close the gap. Now I think Nadal will finish the slam race on top. The next 2 are out, and the next 3 slams are on clay. Damn, I'm so pissed.
And I didn't rationalize this. So the next 2 out of 3 slams after this one are on clay. So he makes a great point. I didn't even think about it. So you have the French Open next, and then you'll have a break. We'll go on to the Australian in January, as long as they have it. I'm guessing there's already plans in place to do so. And then the French right after. So you got 2 more French Opens, basically boom, 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 right? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't that basically guarantee, unless something crazy happens, wouldn't that basically guarantee Nadal gets to 21 in the next 3 slams? Wouldn't it guarantee that?
Interesting
setup. Didn't think about that. Another great comment. Did not think about it that way.
Supposedly it's still beyond. I can't believe that Barty's not going to try to defend her French title. That's crazy to me. I don't know. I think to me a slam is more important than worrying about something that could possibly do nothing.
Yeah.
The same.
All right, guys, gals out there, much love to all you. We got to hurry out to a lesson. We'll continue in comments. We will have we have a speaker.
Nothing is guaranteed. You're right, Michael.
Yeah, we have one.
Not even life is guaranteed.
Exactly. And I didn't mean to get aggravated. I just, sometimes it happens. But we have a speaker, and we set it out on the court, and then we stream Cam's matches so our students can hear matches. Some of our students, believe it or not, don't even know who any of these players are. Like some of our best junior students that are really good. You can ask them, who's Simona Halep? I don't know. I've never heard of that. Who's that?
Sad.
Who's Djokovic? Well, I've heard of that one, but I've never seen him play. So we usually put that on and kind of have it on the court so we can all hear it and keep up the scores. So we'll be doing that for a little while, and I'll keep my phone next to me so when I break, then we can go comment. So continue the comments, absolutely, and we'll definitely keep the comments going, all right? Gotta go. See ya.
Yes.
What's up, buddy?
What? I'm getting there. I know.